Our first proactive change strategy is product innovations. This is probably the best one. So we're looking at the future, so in the next 10 years, not looking at the past. We're looking at how we can change a product and how we sell it, and we're starting with product innovation. So what is that? Well, I mean, it's a very vague word, innovation, but we'll say it's when we introduce new or more effective processes, products, and ideas by the business. And essentially it's all about this thing, research and development, spending time, money, and resources on figuring out new things like new customer needs and trends. What do customers want tomorrow? Not what do they want today? And then we develop new products to sell that don't exist yet. But also, if we've got the existing product, we're looking at ways to improve it. We don't just leave it in the market as it is. We're always looking at ways to update it. Not only that, it's not just the product itself, we're also looking at different ways to make the products and new technologies and so on. They might help us make it easier. So some really innovative companies that we might have heard of are businesses like Apple, always figuring out the next need before we do. And you could even take that as far back as the smartphone and go, well, that wasn't a product we really knew we needed in 2007. It replaced 3 other products, the camera, the browser, and the phone. And yeah, now we can't go without it. But not only that, there's a new one every year. You mightn't have bought a vacuum, but Dyson make really innovative products. They look cool for a start, but they also take up much less space and are much easier to use than other products. Aldi we've looked at a lot. Aldi's a great business. It takes a very old, boring, traditional market like the supermarket industry, and it just finds new ways to cut out costs, new ways to save people money. And I think in the future, Tesla's going to be the big one. Not only the way that the cars that they do make, electric cars, but the way they make it. So we look at those videos from the Tesla factory, pretty much complete automation and robotics in that factory. So what are the strengths and weaknesses? If this is the best strategy, what is so good about it? Well, it just creates new markets to sell to when existing products stagnate. So at the moment, iPhone sales in the last few years have actually plateaued for the first time ever. Yet Apple sales have gone up. Why? Because they're always innovating and launching new products. Apple Watch, Apple TV, Apple Music, and now the big focus on Apple Health. This is a great strategy because when you do come up with a new method or technology to make the product, that's going to lower your costs. When you lower costs, your profits are higher and you can pass the savings on to consumers. But the biggest advantage, and usually why the most innovative companies are the ones that win, are because they get what's called the first mover advantage. What that means is you come up with the product first, and then other people are kind of almost ripping you off, and you're perceived as the market leader. So smartphones, Apple released the first smartphone. Everything after that feels like a bit of a rip-off. Yeah, so that's a really big advantage. But if it was so easy, everyone would be doing it. So there must be some disadvantages about this. It is hugely time-consuming and expensive to think of the next big thing, and then not only that, make it and always improve it. It costs a lot of money and time and people that most businesses just don't have. What else? Well, this is a really high risk strategy because the easiest thing in the world is to keep doing the old thing. Particularly if you're already successful, the easiest thing in the world is to keep releasing that product. But to come up with a new idea and new products, that's a lot of risk because we looked at redeployment of resources. When you come up with a new idea, you've got to take resources from the old idea. So you're kind of sacrificing a successful product to think of the next one, and that's really risky.